Welcome to Digital Bestiary, the channel that takes a deep look at creatures, monsters, and humanoids from various video games. This video we're going to take a look at the horrifying lickers from the Resident Evil series, including biology, history, and how they became weapons under the control of humans. Lickers are the result of a zombie that has further mutated to the point where its human origins are barely apparent. This mutation occurs after they have consumed enough food, which in this case their primary diet is of course, humans. During mutation they shed all their skin and new muscle growth occurs, allowing them to be much stronger and more agile than regular zombies. Their skeleton is also altered, causing them to walk on all fours, but this isn't a setback in their case. Their extreme agility and large razor-sharp claws allow them to cling to most surfaces, usually surprising their prey from above. The new mutated form also leaves them with an exposed brain and no eyes, leaving them completely blind, although this is definitely made up for by their extreme sensitivity to sound. Their primary forms of attack are both their large claws and teeth, and their extremely long extendable tongue. It's actually capable of slicing through flesh and has been known to decapitate humans. This is why they were deemed the name lickers. If you're trying to avoid these guys, it's important to remain as quiet as possible, and if taking one down is necessary, try to use something quiet like a bowgun. And remember, if you do spot one, there could easily be more lurking around. They have been known to roam in groups and will call out for others if needed. The first lickers ever recorded were in 1998 and were a result of zombies mutating on their own while infected with an unnamed T-virus. After their discovery, the Umbrella Corporation captured some lickers to perform further testing in the nest facility underneath Raccoon City. Eventually, they created a modified version that we'll cover more here in a bit. But of course, if you're familiar with Resident Evil logic, everything always ends up escaping containment. The new modified strain of the virus leaked out of the facility September 23, 1998. And made its way into Raccoon City's drinking supply, eventually infecting tens of thousands of people, who now were capable of, under the right conditions, mutating into lickers. During the early stages of the outbreak, a colony of lickers started emerging at the Apple Inn. This was due to it being a common refuge for survivors during this time. Also during this time period, another colony formed in the Raccoon City Police Department after it had become overrun with zombies. More lickers were spotted in November 1998 on Sheena Island off the coast of Europe, but it is unknown if these cases were residents of the area infected with the same strain or escaped test subjects. The years after the initial outbreak, lickers caught the eye of many powerful people to be used as bioweapons. So of course it wasn't long before Tricell, a corporation that has done business with Umbrella Corporation in the past, was already producing clone versions of the liquor that had been further enhanced by the progenitor virus, a strain that is thought to be millions if not billions of years old. These became available for sale on the black market for a pretty penny. Although Tricell weren't the only suppliers putting liquors on the black market. Another supplier was distributing them implanted with the Plaga parasite. The reason for this is that humans that had been taken over by a dominant parasite would be able to issue commands to these lickers. Modified lickers, the ones we mentioned earlier, were the first variant ever created. They were made during the initial outbreak underneath Raccoon City in the Nest testing facility. These lickers can be spotted as having a blue tinted skin and are much larger than their normal licker variants. They are much more dangerous than the original, as they were much more durable and harder to take down. And one of their fingers has mutated, causing them to have one giant claw on each hand. Suspended lickers, on the other hand, are much less of a threat than the regular variants. These were first encountered at Apple Inn and were thought to be a licker during mid-transformation. They resemble their original human form a bit more than the regular lickers, and even still have their eyesight, though their hearing has already begun to enhance and become more sensitive. Their tongue doesn't quite yet have the ability to slice through flesh, so they use it as more of a whip. Now, Licker Beta was the new modified cloned version that we talked about earlier, and was ready on the black market through Tricell. These new versions were much more durable and intelligent. These were created by injecting the standard licker with the ancient progenitor virus to increase their evolutionary potential. This new version still didn't have sight, but their sense of hearing and smell was enhanced even further than before. I think it's safe to say at this point that these inside-out looking horrors are something that nobody ever wants to encounter, but if you do, try not to be heard. If you have any video game characters in mind that you want me to cover next, make sure to let me know down below in the comments, and if you enjoy this type of content, a like on the video and a subscribe to the channel would be much appreciated. This has been another entry into Digital Bestiary, and farewell until next time.